the stock price is down 30% from an all-time high in January. Vehicle deliveries are down 13% compared to the same period last year.
Tesla stock is plummeting, and the once unstoppable giant is losing billions in value. But where's Elon Musk? Silent. As the world watches Tesla's freefall, the competition, especially from China, is getting stronger, and interest rates are skyrocketing. Musk built an empire on big promises and bold moves, but now it seems like his empire is teetering on the edge. Is this really the end for Tesla, or is Musk just waiting for the perfect moment to make his comeback?
It even happened at Apple, and if Tesla's stock keeps falling, it could happen there too. But to understand how, we need to be clear about who actually has the power.
Tesla's stock isn't just dipping, it's falling like a rock. And if you've been watching the market, you've probably noticed it's not just a bad week situation, it's a full-blown spiral. Since the beginning of the year, Tesla shares have shed over 40% of their value. For a company that once felt bulletproof, that's a huge hit. The kind of hit that sends investors into panic mode and makes longtime supporters start asking questions they never thought they'd ask. One of the biggest reasons behind this crash is the slowdown in electric vehicle (EV) demand. It's not that people have suddenly fallen out of love with Teslas, there are still die-hard fans, but the market has shifted. Electric vehicles aren't new anymore and the hype isn't carrying them like it used to. More people are holding onto their cars longer, waiting for better infrastructure, or simply not seeing Tesla as the automatic choice anymore. The glow has dimmed.
The ways that the government is defrauded is that the computer systems don't talk to each other. So if the computer systems don't talk to each other, then you can exploit that gap.
Then there's China. What's happening there is more than just competition, it's domination. Chinese automakers like BYD have stepped up in a massive way. They're producing affordable, high-quality EVs faster and cheaper than Tesla can keep up with. Tesla tried slashing prices to keep up, but that only hurt their margins. You can't win a race by constantly cutting your price tag, especially when your competition is playing the long game with government support behind them. Add to that the macroeconomic mess. Interest rates have been going up, inflation's still hanging around, people aren't exactly lining up for new car loans, and that affects Tesla big time. Higher rates make Tesla's, already a big financial commitment, even harder to afford. Combine that with an unstable economy, and consumers just start pulling back. If you followed Elon Musk for even a little while, you know he's not your typical CEO. The guy doesn't just run companies, he runs empires. But in the past couple of years, something's changed. He's not just focused on Tesla anymore, he's splitting his time and energy across way too many ventures. First, it was SpaceX and Neuralink. Then came the big one, Twitter, now rebranded as X. That move changed everything.
And that can be very problematic, especially when it came to acquiring Twitter.
My point is that there's some empathy that is warranted here. It can be a blurry line.
When Elon bought Twitter in late 2022, it raised eyebrows. People wondered what it meant for Tesla, but Musk insisted he could juggle it all. Fast forward, and it's clear. Twitter hasn't just been a side project, it's consumed him. His posts, his public battles, his attention, it's all been focused on shaping Twitter into something new. Meanwhile, Tesla? It started to feel like an afterthought. And it's not just about time, it's about perception. Investors aren't stupid. They watch where Musk is putting his energy, and it's obvious that Tesla isn't the priority it once was. It's like he built this incredible machine, then turned around to start 3 more without finishing the first. That's not inspiring confidence, it's making people nervous.
That on the left, you can see from the Los Angeles Times that engineers sue Elon Musk and SpaceX, saying that the company mirrored his juvenile, crude.
The irony is, Elon always said he wanted to create a sustainable future through Tesla, but lately, he seems more interested in political debates, AI wars, and building his own version of the internet. Neuralink, SpaceX, XAI, and whatever else is on his plate, it's all exciting, sure, but it's also exhausting to keep up with. And while he's busy trying to change the world in 10 directions, the one company that actually changed the world, Tesla, is falling apart in plain sight. And that's where the trust issue comes in. Investors used to trust Elon blindly. He could make a bold tweet and Tesla's stock would jump. That magic is gone, his credibility is dented. When you think of Tesla, you probably picture sleek cars driving themselves on highways, pushing the boundaries of technology and speed. That's the dream Elon Musk sold us. For years, it felt like Tesla was living in the future, and we were all trying to catch up. But over the past year or so, the shine has started to wear off. And once you start looking closely, you realize there are some serious cracks in the vision. The biggest one is autonomous driving. Full self-driving, FSD, was supposed to be Tesla's crown jewel, a feature that would change the world. But the truth is, it's been just around the corner for years. We keep hearing promises, updates, beta programs, but the fully driverless future is still stuck in development. Meanwhile, regulators are getting more aggressive and people are losing trust. Some early users reported dangerous glitches, cars slamming on brakes, swerving at random, and those stories catch fire fast. It's gone from a wow factor to a liability. Then there's the issue of quality. Tesla used to be the cool rebel in the car industry, but customers have been frustrated by things like panel misalignments, rattling interiors, touchscreen malfunctions, you name it. The number of recalls has increased, and that's hard to ignore. For a car that's supposed to be high-end and futuristic, having it recalled for a steering or brake issue doesn't exactly inspire confidence. The pace of innovation has also slowed. Tesla was once the brand that shook the world with each new product, but lately, it feels like they're recycling the same ideas. The Model S, 3, X, and Y have been around for years with only minor tweaks.
One of the key tricks that the fraudsters pull is that they will use the fact that someone is marked as live and
Say what you will about Elon Musk. Maybe you think he's a genius, maybe you think he's just a chaos merchant with a Twitter addiction, but there's one thing he's been yelling about for years that's genuinely hard to argue with. A lot of our public systems are outdated, painfully slow, and borderline broken, especially when it comes to how the government handles data, tech infrastructure, and fraud prevention. Whether you agree with Elon's views on AI safety, space exploration, or even his latest internet feud, you have to admit, he has a point when he talks about how backward things have become in the very institutions meant to keep society running. It's like we're using 1990s software to solve 2025 problems, and we act surprised when things go wrong. And wow, did things go wrong? One of the wildest examples came out recently during a congressional hearing on pandemic-era fraud. It centered around the U.S. Small Business Administration, SBA, the agency responsible for helping small businesses survive through loans and grants, especially during emergencies. Well, turns out the SBA handed out more than $300 million in loans to people who, brace yourself, were either not yet in kindergarten or had been dead for decades. Literally. No exaggeration. This is real. The investigation revealed that among the recipients of these loans was a 9-month-old baby. Yes, a baby. A child who can't walk, read, or spell the word entrepreneur was somehow approved for financial aid meant to support a small business. And if that's not absurd enough, some of the other applicants were supposedly over 120 years old. You read that right? We're talking about phantom business owners who would have been born before World War I. So how does something like this even happen?
Cross-referencing that with the Social Security Administration data that has birth dates. So that very, very simple fix eliminates tremendous fraud. And that there are multiple systems across the government.
Simple answer. The systems don't talk to each other. There's no cohesive, cross-checked, modern digital infrastructure that flags obviously fake applications. Someone plugs in an ID number, makes up an address, maybe lists a fake business name, and boom, money's wired. No algorithm double-checks whether the name matches a real person. No alert pops up saying, hey, this applicant was born in 1901. The system just processes the request. It's like a vending machine that gives you candy without checking if you paid, except in this case, the candy is hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars. Now, if you zoom out for a second, this isn't just a story about ridiculous fraud. It's a window into a much bigger, more dangerous problem. Because if our public institutions are this outdated when it comes to catching a fake 9-month-old business owner, what else are they missing? That's what Musk has been talking about for years, how broken the plumbing of the modern world is. He's pointed to outdated procurement processes in government, ancient software still running in mission-critical departments, and the maddening bureaucracy that kills innovation before it even starts. It's like trying to launch a rocket using a rotary phone. And here's where it all ties back to companies like Tesla.
Elon was really interested in this, so he came in as an investor and eventually became the CEO, with the vision of turning electric cars mainstream and ushering a whole new era of transportation.
When Tesla's trying to build EVs at scale, they rely not just on private suppliers, but on navigating regulations, infrastructure planning, zoning, energy grids, and supply chains, many of which are connected to public or semi-public systems. If those systems are inefficient, Tesla ends up delayed. If the Department of Transportation uses outdated traffic data or clunky software to approve charging infrastructure, Tesla and its customers lose time and money. This inefficiency bleeds into everything. Think about how long it takes to build a new highway, approve a wind farm, or even install a few dozen EV charging stations across a state. You'd think these things would be moving at lightning speed given the climate goals and the public demand. Instead, they crawl, bogged down by systems that were designed for an entirely different era. And then we wonder why innovation slows down. That's the irony. Private companies are often blamed for not moving fast enough or being out of touch, but behind the scenes, a lot of the slowdown comes from outdated frameworks in government. It's not that people in the government don't care, it's that they're working with tools and rules that were never built for the scale and speed of modern problems. And when you factor in the fraud angle, it's worse. Because not only are these systems slow, they're leaky, as in bleeding cash kind of leaky.
Proof for funding, what are you finding?
Well, Elon and Steve kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but I actually found that customer service survey.
The $300 million that went to made-up people during the pandemic, that's just one slice of a much larger pie. Billions more were lost across different relief programs, and while the fraudsters are certainly to blame, the system practically invited them in. No facial ID, no real-time verification, no AI flagging mismatches, just forms, boxes, and wires moving cash into accounts without asking too many questions. Now think about how much money we say we can't find for infrastructure, healthcare, or education. And then think about how fast we lost that same money because someone didn't check if a toddler owns a lawn care business. That's where Musk's criticism hits hardest. When he says our systems are broken, it's not just a rant, it's a reality. We're spending trillions managing crises with tools that wouldn't survive a basic audit at a tech startup. If a company like Tesla operated with the same lack of oversight and technological sloppiness, it would collapse in weeks. And yet, it's the public systems, meant to ensure trust and accountability, that are crumbling. The good news? This stuff can be fixed. We already have the technology to cross-check identities, verify ages, and prevent fraud in real time. Banks do it, streaming services do it, even dating apps do it. But the challenge is getting massive, slow-moving institutions to overhaul their systems and adopt real tech standards. And that means pressure has to come from everywhere, from tech leaders, from watchdogs, from citizens, and yes, even from controversial billionaires with a megaphone. Because at the end of the day, it's not about politics, it's about function. Do our systems actually work? Are they built for 2025? Or are we just duct taping over problems from 1998? If a 9-month-old baby can get a small business loan, we already know the answer.
Influence over Tesla's governance remains unclear. Vaibhav Taneja, Tesla's chief financial officer, is also on the board. His role is somewhat unique. Most companies...
You'd think that catching this kind of fraud would be easy. After all, we're talking about a system that should be able to spot that a toddler isn't exactly running a startup. But the problem is, these government agencies don't talk to each other. The SBA didn't cross-check the loan applications with Social Security birth date records. So if someone faked an identity or used a baby's stolen Social Security number, it just slipped through the cracks. No alerts, no red flags. It's like running a business with your eyes closed. This kind of mess creates a bigger problem, not just about wasted taxpayer money, but about how little trust people have in the institutions that are supposed to protect them. And it connects to companies like Tesla too. When systems don't work, innovation suffers. When fraud is rampant and accountability is missing, legitimate businesses get buried under regulation while bad actors thrive. It distorts the whole playing field.
The Social Security checks, that Medicare continues to work, without which we're all doomed. The reason we're doing this is because
there's something kind of ironic about everything that's happening with Tesla right now. For years, Elon Musk has been talking about how outdated and broken government systems are. He's pointed out many times how different departments don't talk to each other, how data isn't shared across platforms, and how this lack of digital connection leads to massive fraud and inefficiency. And he's not wrong. Just recently, it came out that over $300 million in loans were given to people under the age of 11 and over the age of 120. That includes a baby, literally a 9-month-old, who was issued a small business loan. Why? Because the government systems don't sync up. The Social Security Administration has birth data, but the Small Business Administration didn't check it. So, fraudsters exploited that gap. Musk's dream has always been bigger than just building cars. He talks about a future where AI and technology can make everything more efficient, from traffic to space travel to even running cities. But in a strange twist, Tesla itself is now going through the kind of system failure he's spent years criticizing. The company is facing internal chaos, software issues, declining customer trust, and a breakdown in investor confidence. All signs that their own systems might not be functioning the way they should.
And while he was busy fixing the government, General Electric was evolving without him. The company moved on, professionalized its leadership, and quietly pushed him aside.
It's almost like the hunter becoming the hunted. Tesla, a symbol of cutting-edge tech and streamlined innovation, is struggling to keep its internal machine running smoothly. Whether it's missed production targets, buggy software, or supply chain confusion, the issues are starting to feel a lot like the kind of dysfunction you'd expect in a clunky government agency, not a top-tier tech company. What makes it even more interesting is that Tesla was supposed to be the model for the future. But if a company with Tesla's resources and brainpower can fall victim to system breakdowns, what does that say about the rest of us? The same digital accountability Musk demands from government is something his own company now has to wrestle with. This is the question everyone's asking. Can Tesla bounce back, or is this the beginning of the end? Some people still have a lot of faith in the company. They believe Elon Musk has pulled off miracles before, and he might do it again. But others are wondering if this time is different, if Tesla is finally facing problems too big to solve with just hype and bold tweets.
Not serving in the government, but serving as the political arm for all these different programs for the Democratic Party, and it's still in action. So when you see Democrats freaking out...
The truth is, Tesla is at a crossroads. It's no longer the only cool kid in the EV game. Other companies are catching up fast, both in tech and design. Investors are more cautious, and regulators are watching closely. The pressure is building from every angle: competition, consumer trust, government rules, even Musk's own distractions. So, something has to change. One option might be a complete reset in leadership structure. If Musk continues to divide his attention between Tesla, X formerly Twitter, Neuralink, and all his other projects, shareholders may push for a stronger executive team to keep the company focused. Tesla needs leadership that's locked in, not someone bouncing between platforms and industries. That's not an attack on Musk's brilliance, it's just the reality of running a company this big during a crisis.
Tesla's worst quarter in years. The Cybertruck is falling apart both figuratively and literally, and most disturbing of all, Tesla vehicles.
The product strategy could also use a shakeup. People want to see real progress, not just concepts and delayed rollouts. Whether it's the long-promised Cybertruck or actual full self-driving vehicles, Tesla has to start delivering on its promises in a big way. Otherwise, customers will keep drifting toward competitors who are producing results, not hype. And then there's the regulatory environment. Self-driving cars, battery safety, emissions regulations, governments all over the world are tightening the rules. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.